Hey there, mousies. So today I am going to be doing a sketchbook tour. I don't know if you can see my hands, but the pages that I have are originally from college and they are big, like big, and my thumbs broke off. So I figured I'd go through those today really quickly, because there's a lot of them and I kind of want to just kind of store them away after I sort through them. So here we go. Okay, I haven't seen this in a really long time. This is a piece I started a long time ago. I didn't date it. Let's see what I have here. Okay. Right, so if you hear my mother-in-law arguing, I'm so sorry. Here's a bunch of eyes and my eye flowers, just an idea I had way back when. Here's when I was taking classes on how to get depth and perception with it. To be honest, I was probably pretty bad at it. But then again, I didn't try as hard as I did. Here, I think, is probably the best one that I did, with the depth, the shadowing, and all that stuff. I was really bad with still lives. At least that, in my opinion, I was. I'm trying to do that. Some more of this. Blank, blank, my itty bitty. And last one, and another one. Okay, here we go. Bam, part one. And this is a really good paper. I don't know if they sell this anymore. They might. It's Artist Drawing and Sketch Vellum. And the paper quality is just really good. Okay, so this is kind of my funky style. That's my mousy logo. You can see I already started it. This is like when I was drawing a picture, I think, of Jessie J, like way back when. Before she even became popular in the States, I started listening to her on YouTube, actually, when she used to do songs, singing in her room. There's this, messing with calligraphy. I always like to test different mediums, but this is a really long time ago. Okay. And then here is something fun and colorful, and I'm not exactly sure what it is. This is me sketching a cake. This is me doing a knife with lettering, so these are all miniature letters. This is me drawing a character. Oh, I guess I really did try drawing. Here's me drawing another cute little cutesy girl. Okay, on to the next. So Strathmore watercolor. Dun, 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 dun. Whoops, sorry guys. Okay, so here's one of the very first watercolors I did. Date is 2011. Yikes, that was so long ago. Here's another one of my cutesy girls. My eyes, I was really big with eyes. This was from some tutorial that I was working with, and I started doing that. I was actually pretty good at it. Yeah, come to think of it, I think I was pretty good at it. Just me not trying all the way, but yeah, I was pretty good at it. Cool to know. Alright, next, acrylic. And I think this is empty because I usually don't keep painted acrylic sheets in the bin, but acrylic sheets are like awesome to use. Here is something else. I did not draw this. I have no idea what it's from, so it's going in the garbage. And this is something that I got from school. It gives you the baseline of where the eyes, the nose, the mouth was. But to be honest, I didn't find this particularly helpful. It was just very confusing to go by. So I didn't even go by it. So you know what? It's going in the garbage because I didn't even like the descriptions of it. And this is when I had my illustration class, using shapes and letters to create images. So type, this is A's, this is letters, crazy. Yeah, this is an M and a V to create a mouth. Those were my maiden initials. So, and then this is laying out my website for when I was doing a lot of graphic arts and illustration when I first started. So, bring cracks in the middle. I don't know. There's a lot of like weird stuff in here that I don't even remember doing. Yeah, this is a lot of illustration. Letters, combining letters to create images, pictures, locks, my little sketches, ideas. So here, Helvetica. Helvetica was probably one of my favorite fonts to use. Here's ideas for music. One, sunrise, angel. Like I always had like, yeah, see, county fair. So this is stuff that I learned in school how to do. It's pretty basic stuff, but this is when illustration, digital arts were just coming into play. Not just coming in, but becoming more popular for my generation. Because initially there were no classes when I wanted to get into digital arts. There were no classes available for me in Staten Island, so I actually went to the city to go to Baruch, continue education after I graduated college. And yeah, that's how I learned how to do all these different things. Shape modes. So here, okay, so some of these shortcuts still apply. Some of them do not, because Adobe Illustrator 2020, the CS version, I think it's CS, yeah, CS version, online is a little different now, but I learned all the shortcuts before I learned actually how to create anything. And that actually makes me a really fast designer, because I know the shortcuts and I design very quickly. Here's learning about text, serif versus sans serif. Just good font layout. Or if you wanted to do font creation, that was really good guidelines to go by. Okay, this is, I don't even think I was able to use this. This is from B Paper Company. This was, I know this was very expensive. This is 70-pound paper for, it's a recycled. I don't think they have this anymore. I don't know what they still have because it's been so long. This is actually, I used letters, parts of letters. So this is an R, this is an O, and then this is one, and I just created these weird shapes. I was just experimenting. Here I was experimenting with shapes, paper layout, and I have very weird vivid dreams, so this was a girl that I was trying to draw from a dream. It's funny how I still remember that, and the rest is all blank. But this type of paper tends to warp, so I try to keep it in a really as dry as I can. This is basically like writing on paper lunch bags, I would say, a little equivalent, just, you know, you don't have the seams from the bag on there. Alright, and here we got the nose print, classic. This is definitely what I had all throughout college, continuing ed. I use this a lot. I did a lot of gesture. I tried to focus more on gesture drawing because I'm too controlled in my hands, and that kind of sets me back a little bit. So I tried to do gesture drawing. So I took a class that I found on the island for gesture drawing, trying to get in the basic shape. But these were nude models. I never felt uncomfortable drawing them, weirdly enough, but when the drawing session stopped and they were still kind of walking around nude, that kind of made me uncomfortable at the time because I wasn't really feeling my drawing, so I wasn't as confident in my drawing to be like, okay, that looked at you, because a lot of the times the new models walk around to see what you did, and I just, you know, I was there just to get a gist of gesture drawing and drawing from a person, and I was horrible at it, like so horrible at it. I started using the negative space, and I found I was better at doing the negative space than actually doing the person itself. So that I ended up doing that, and I felt a little more confident in, you know, how I ended up getting the folds of everything. As you can see, this is the person like on its side with the leg up. So I felt more confident in this than I did with a single drawing. Like, and see like my negative space. So it just goes to show, if you want to kind of try something different, if you're gonna do gesture drawing, try positive and negative space, because you might find yourself being better in a negative space than in a positive, which I found out, but I found out like at the end of the session, so that didn't help me much. So then I started doing stuff like that using this. So I'm huge on NYC. I'm born and raised in New York City. So I like to incorporate New York City whenever I can. You know, a lot of people tend to, you know, oh, but what about Staten Island? You're from Staten Island, blah, blah, blah. But Staten Island. Staten Island is part of New York City. I don't care what anybody says. Okay, this is pretty cool. I did pretty well with this. Again, because I think the blank white canvas just puts a little nerve reckoning in me. So here I was able to capture the lights of the points. And again, I use the negative space by using the drawing the shadows. Wow, what a tongue twister there. And I felt it worked better for me using the negative space. So yeah, I mean, again, try whatever works for you. Whatever works for you. So here are some portfolios that I have. These, I don't think these are, some of these are my artwork, some of these are not. So this is not, this is from a magazine that I used to get from Barnes & Noble consistently. It was a creative magazine. So this was like my inspiration for this, which I created various versions. This is from 2010. And I created eyes with this. It's kind of on the calligraphy-like side, but it wasn't actually calligraphy. Here are some things that I really loved. I actually copyrighted all my artwork in this book, if I'm not mistaken, because I don't know, I was very paranoid at the time because a lot of people were stealing stuff and, you know, selling it as their own and just kind of like doing some shady shit. So you have one life indication of the one body that you have. These are pieces of art that I created using words. So this was balloon, 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 balloon with an A for air. You know, words, 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 that's what I used in here. And then shoulder, shoulder, shoulders is what I used for the arms. And then neck, neck, neck is what I used for the neck. Eyes, eyes, eyes. You get the idea. So I created images from that. So this, I used a Chinese brush pen, if I'm not mistaken, for this portion. And then I used Faber-Castell pen for the rest of it, doing, you know, it again. I found I worked so much better with negative space. I don't even know why I didn't even like expand more on that or kind of elaborate with that. Now that I remember that, I think I'm going to go back to that because it makes more sense as to what I felt more comfortable with. So here's some weird chick I drew. I don't know. I always experimented working with text, creating large text to fill a page, because that was something I did not like doing. Some weird stuff. Eye with a knife in it. It was kind of popular that I would do that. Eye with a knife in it. As you can see. I don't know. I was going through a phase. This was continuous art using one. No, this was not continuous art using one line because I have a space right here. But I think just doing a scribble, not a continuous line. Here are some of my eyes. I drew attempt at a bamboo tree, I think it was. Werewolf. Sin palabras soy yo. Sin palabras soy. And then it was supposed to be yo there, but I guess it failed me. This was a piece that I did for a class that I took for advertising with the School of Visual Arts. And these both were my self-portraits. So both 2010, did two different variations, two different versions. I used one as a picture and one from my own type of style. So this was my own type of style. This was from a picture, and I left half of the face blank because in a self-portrait, in my opinion, it's not how you see yourself, but how you see yourself becoming. And in half of you don't know, right? Because we go through a lifetime just living our life the way it is in the now, in the know. And you know, there's a huge portion of your life that is unknown and you don't know anything about it. So that's why I left half the face blank, because we don't know what we're going to be like in the future. So self-portrait only made sense to do half of a face because I'm only half the person that I know now, but I don't know the future part of myself. So here's another girly pic. I was very keen on one eye a lot of the times. Here's a snowman. And here is me doing a sketch of the portrait, I guess. Yeah. And then I did this one. Surprise, this came out really good. I mean, not fantabulous, but good enough for me. This one. So, I'm an 80s baby. So when I was a teenager, it was the 90s, and I used to love buying these little characters that came in like the quarter machine. I think they were called like Papi Chulos, or Papitos. Or, they were these little gangsta toys that were so adorable and cute. They had these cutesiness about them. So this is from my inspiration of drawing them. I think I actually draw. So this is one of them. It came in a sticker that I got, so I kind of drew the picture of the sticker. And this was one of them also. This was one of them also. I probably still have the sticker for that. And this is just a preview version I did for me. Alright, so I drew different versions. So I drew, this is a face of someone. It's her, now that I'm looking at it, it's horrific, but at the time I was very novice like, so I didn't really expand on anything. And this was from a character, somebody's character, and this is my version of the Puerto Rican chica, that Puerto Rican cute version of me, I guess, because I used to wear a hematite beaded cross, and it was beautiful. I loved it until it busted on me one day. I was so upset. And a belly ring. Obviously I don't have a belly ring anymore because I had kids, and it's not flattering on a kid belly. Mama belly, I'll say. And this is another version of me that I did. I used to have this really cool, funky, twisted cross. So I have no idea what happened to it. I moved a lot from when I was 20 to 24, 25, no, 24. Yeah, I moved a lot for like 4 years. So I didn't really keep goods. I didn't really have a lot of my stuff. This was an actual version of me. I used to have an axe belt. I was very into Armani Exchange at the time. But you wouldn't call me dead in a hat, like, at all. And this is my version of the, I forgot what they're called. They're like models, I guess, tabletop models. And to be honest, I surprised myself with this. I thought it was gonna be horrible, because right now it looks like a printable, but it's not. I actually drew it, and I was just so proud of myself when I did it. And this is a picture, oh my gosh, I forgot about this, of me and my husband, like way back when, like when we first started dating. This was based off of a picture that we were at a bar, I think, or something. And this is a picture of a novela, teenage novela that I used to watch called Lola Érase una vez. And I was just, for whatever reason, I was so obsessed with the show. I guess because I had Spanish class at that time. This was, I don't know what this was. I don't even know where this came from. I don't even know who this is. I know I drew it. I just don't know who it is. And this was a letter from my professor in college, giving me, okay, I'll just read it. So Claudette, those of you who don't know, my government name is Claudette. The reason why I don't use it is because it's my mom's name. And my mom never called me Claudette to begin with. My entire family never called me Claudette. Everyone knows me as Minnie. I've been contemplating on changing it, but it's too much of a pain in the butt. I found that out when I got married and I had to change a whole bunch of documents. It was a pain in the butt. So thank you for submitting your sketchbook. I have so very much wanted to be able to give you an A. The sketchbook journal work is too casual to really grade well. Charcoal from our discussions was going to be reserved for a large paper. The Surratt, on textured paper never materialized. So here's the thing. When I was in college and it was towards the end of the semester, I was living in a basement apartment, and the basement apartment got flooded. I had all my final artwork pieces on the floor, and this is how I worked. I especially on large scales, and I didn't have a easel, so I would work on the floor. Now I was literally in tears because there was nothing I could do about any of it. All my artwork got destroyed. It was pretty bad. A lot of the because charcoal is very loose. It was something that even if I dried the paper, I tried drying the paper desperately, it would never show the original piece itself. So this is what she means by never materialized. However, during the summer, which is you could have done one in summer session, your figure drawing did improve happily, but I would have liked to see as much dedication and more completion of drawings in general with a better idea of a composition and using the viewing frame. I hated the viewing frame, people. I freaking hated it. I do not have notes on your work from the museum visit drawing, which that was, I went to the Met. Again, I did a lot of my, since the Met, I did an 8.5 by 11. I stacked all my artwork in a corner. I, kept it up, like hanging like that, and it got completely destroyed. I really was in tears. I was so upset because that was hours and hours and days and weeks and of time and effort put into drawing pieces that I wanted to be happy with. And I was like, I'm not going to give it to her because there's no point. She can't grade it. What is she going to do? There was just no point. It was nothing that could be graded, can be looked at, because the whole entire thing just ended up mush. And newsprint, I did some pieces on newsprint. That's what she was referring to with the charcoal drawing and the Seurat copy. And I was so bummed that I was not able to give it to her because it was such a beautiful piece. I think I'll show you later because I actually have it in the other thing. But yeah, I definitely was very upset about that. A word about doing commercial art. Everyone I have ever seen lecture whose work I saw over the years, such as Paul Rand, Ivan Chermayev, Ed Sorrell, Seymour Schwass, or Milton Glacier, founders of Pushpin Studios, all knew the value of drawing and painting and admired and used it in their design and advertising practice. To do well, I think you need to start to demand a lot more of yourself and develop a strong work commitment. I wish you success and good fortune in your future pursuit of art direction and graphics. So this is a recommendation I got from, this is 2007, guys, okay? I didn't graduate college till 2008. So this was her suggestion. She was a very good teacher, but she was a little harsh, a lot harsh. She didn't kind of give me the motivation that I wanted. She didn't draw out my motivation. She kept pestering my wrongdoings. So I didn't follow, for instance, I wasn't using the viewing frame. So what? A lot of artists go by their own eye, not by what they can physically see in front of them. So I always went by what my eye told me, where to draw, how to do stroke, how to do a mark. Sometimes, I could have a picture in front of me and I don't want to draw the picture. I want to change the perspective of what I'm drawing and do it a little different, because isn't that the whole purpose of art, to do it in your own interpretation? So I kind of got discouraged by it and I kind of took a backseat on it, but I went back for class over the summer, and I took a different class. I took illustration, and I found I was so much better in illustration than I was in doing directional art, because that's exactly what I'm going to say, because this kind of art I did on my own, right? Where's the other piece? This kind of art is what I did in school, working with still figures, still life, and I felt more free when I would do things digitally. But ironically enough, here I am 22 years later and I'm doing something different. So just goes to show, don't give up on yourself, even if you're being discouraged. Thank you, Mousies, for watching, and have a great and wonderful day.